The words masculinity and femininity are often used, but what do they really mean? We set out to explore the definitions on UT's campus.
So gender is kind of social expectations about masculinity and femininity. So kind of the things that we say women should look like or do because they're women, or men should look like and do because they're men. A gender role then is the expected behaviors because someone is male or female.
Working out, sports, kind of like unemotional, not really showing your feelings to other guys.
And it's all a competition, and whoever is the smartest of the men is the king and tells everyone else what to do. That's a very masculine idea to me.
Tall, buff football player, facial hair, short. Guys are more take care of business, and they're the ones to be taken care of.
Kind of being artsy, caring more about your appearance, delicate.
Women are more expected to be relationship oriented and thinking about everyone together as opposed to their own personal interests. They're kind of expected to empathize more with other people and be more concerned with ideas of community.
Be very more emotional, kind of like complete opposites, more not as like athletic, I'd say.
Women are stereotyped to have long hair, have their makeup done perfectly, clothes right.
Not wearing a lot of clothes and having like perfect bodies, perfect hair, wearing a lot of makeup and stuff like that, I guess.
Long hair, just picture women. Social, more social, less physical activities.
Doctor, I usually think of a guy too. But then when I hear nurse, I usually think of a woman.
Guys with doing like math and science, and girls with social sciences and art related things.
Cheerleading, I know there are guys in there, but I still find that a more girl kind of sport.
You are not born kind of having these ideas about what's masculine and feminine. From a very early age, we kind of are set on these paths of masculinity and femininity. We consciously, and sometimes unconsciously or subconsciously, we do these things. So we learn that in order, for example, for women to look feminine, they should wear makeup, or they should talk a certain way, or they should interact with their friends a certain way. And because gender is something we can do, we don't all have to do it. We can actually kind of cross, right, traditional gender expectations.
Jeremiah Thomas is an example of a person who goes against the normative set of expectations for masculinity. For several years throughout high school and part of college, he was a cheerleader.
That's what I like about you. What I like about you. You really know how to dance.
I actually got kicked off the football team my sophomore year of high school, and my girlfriend was on the cheerleading team. She said I should try out, so I did, and the rest is kind of history. You get your, like I said, like football rejects, wrestling rejects, like some of the guys that are either off the team or that are just trying something else while they're in the off season. My dad's initial reaction was that cheerleading was very feminine, and I guess maybe I had that reaction too at first, but I guess that's just lack of knowledge of what actually happens in the cheerleading world. Now, after I've done cheerleading on the collegiate level, my dad has a new respect for it. So I actually lived in a dorm here my first year, and I had some sweet mates that always made fun of me. They thought that I was the gayest person they'd ever met, even though I wasn't, and I never even talked to them.
What I like about you.
The Knoxville women's rugby team is an example of how the normative expectations for femininity are challenged.
Push out! Yeah. Push out! Everyone push out! Push out! With you! Go! Take it!
The camaraderie, because I have
30 great friends that I can hang out with every weekend. And then I also have friends around the country and around the world, actually. Aggression, body position, and clearing out, okay? Clearing out.
I started in high school. My mom wanted me to play a girly sport, and I did not. I wanted to beat people up and have fun doing it. And
never knew about rugby until one of my teammates, we were just talking about it during dinner, and I was like, oh, cool. I thought like playing rugby would keep me active, so I was like, why not play the sport? I do like to run, so, and it helps me to stay active and keep my diet at a stable weight.
People that you play rugby, they're always taken aback a little bit because, oh, that's really a rough sport, isn't that a guy's sport? But probably the biggest stereotype is that all female rugby players are gay, and that's obviously not the case. We have just like the rest of the world, there's a nice mix, but there's an assumption that if a woman is aggressive and competitive, she must be a homosexual.
Mom wasn't too happy about it, but like she's okay with it now because I enjoy it so much.
Oh yeah, Tina!
When I tell other people I'm a rugby player, they're like, I don't know what the heck that is. Or a lot of people assume that we're all lesbians, and we're not all lesbians, obviously. But there's a lot of stereotypes with it, that we're all really manly and can't do anything like a girl.
Well, when I tell people I play rugby, they're just saying, oh, you're so small, and you're going to get tackled, and rugby is pretty dangerous.
I mean, it is what it is. People are going to think what they want, and if you let it get you down, then it's just not worth it. So.
I feel like, because I am active and I like playing sports, I feel like rugby, it's a sport it could be a sport for all, so it doesn't matter, like, what do you do, what you don't do. I feel like it doesn't matter, like, who plays, as long as you have fun and you do something that you love to do.
Even though we see that gender roles are a social construction that has been deeply engraved in our culture, people find ways to challenge these stereotypes. While the media sometimes reaffirms negative stereotypes, it can also help break down these constructions by presenting more gender diversity.